Hi everyone, you're very welcome to our virtual open day and to our Meet the Students webinar. So we're just going to wait a minute so you can see people are jumping in now. So you're very welcome. So this is our Meet the Students panel and we are with some of our lovely MU students today. So what we might do to kind of kick it off is get to know our students a little bit. So my name is Deirdre Carroll and I'm from the admissions office and I'm going to host it today. So I'm going to ask everyone here a few questions and we're just going to have like a little chat and get to know our students. So Claudia, you're here first for me. So do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your degree.
So my name is Claudia. I am a third year student here at Maynooth. I am doing the double major in biology and chemistry through the MH201 program, which is general science.
Fabulous, thank you. And Rachel?
So my name is Rachel and I'm a final year student with the Fribble department. So I'm studying primary school teaching here at Maynooth University.
Lovely. And Thomason?
My name is Thomason and I'm a second year BBS marketing student here at Maynooth University.
Lovely. And lastly but not least, Reese.
My name is Reese. I'm a second year MH101 student studying history and English.
So we have a lovely kind of diverse kind of few different degrees here. So I guess anyone that's joining in today, they're kind of thinking of going to college with us and studying with us. So maybe I'll ask our panel, like, why did you choose to study in Maynooth University or your degree program? You know, why did you put Maynooth in your CEO and why are you with us now? So Thomason, I might start with you.
To be honest, I come from like a small town in Leitrim, and I think going to like one of the major cities would have kind of overwhelmed me. And Maynooth is the only like university town, so when I came for the open day, I really felt at home, and I felt like this was the perfect fit for me. And as to why I picked my degree, I think it's because it's so broad. I didn't study business in the Leaving Cert, so I like how we're able to study like different business modules, not only like specific marketing modules. So yeah.
And how did you know, Thompson, that like marketing was a business degree for you?
I like how on one side it's like businessy, but on the other side it's like very creative. You have to have like that creative mind for it. So I think that's one of the reasons.
And would you have been kind of creative in secondary school? Like what were your kind of favorite subjects in secondary school?
I did art in junior cert, but I didn't continue with it in the leaving cert. But I've always like been keeping up with it. I draw like almost every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Lovely. That's nice. That's a nice kind of way looking at it, kind of creativity and then you have your business and then combined together. It's a lovely kind of degree program for that in the marketing. And some of the modules I'd say are very interesting as well, aren't they? What kind of modules do you study?
Well, this year I studied a module called integrated marketing communications, and this is like my favorite module so far. And we've been able to like actually like be creative in the sense that I've designed like newsletters, billboards, and yeah, it's been really, really, really good.
And I guess like a good route for people as well is that there is the kind of arts route that you can transfer as well into the marketing degree in second year. So if you look on our website of Prospectus Maynooth University, if you go to the arts pages and marketing, you can see the different kind of transfer routes that are available to students as well. Then maybe Claudia, because you're studying science, like why did you pick Maynooth? I know the science degree, you kind of start off quite general, isn't it? And then you kind of narrow it down. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the science degree and why you decided to study it here with us in Maynooth?
So when I was doing my leaving cert, I knew I wanted to go into a science like focused degree, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like biomed, biotech, just biology, just chemistry. I didn't know. And it was about this time 4 years ago that I went to Maynooth's open day, and I was talking to one of the student ambassadors there. And she was saying that it was really cool that you could pick and choose a few different subjects in first year, sample them, and then see which ones you liked. And depending on which ones you liked, you could progress with them throughout the years. And I thought that was just a really cool like idea and a really nice thing to do. So that's why I put Maynooth down as my first option in my CAO, actually.
Ah, amazing. Yeah. And do you remember getting your offer?
Oh, I remember getting my offer. Yeah. I remember opening my leaving cert results and I was like, oh my God, I am going to Maynooth.
Look at you now.
Yeah. So no, it's been a great experience. I got to sample biology, chemistry, experimental physics and maths in first year.
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of liked physics because I did it for my junior cert, but I didn't do it for my leaving cert. So it was a bit of a reminder of what my junior cert was like. And I kept biology and chemistry and maths for second year, and now I'm doing biology and chemistry.
Lovely. That's nice. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm really liking it.
What's your favorite module?
I think I like the chemistry side of it a tiny bit better, although they're very similar. Yeah.
Lovely. And then, Rhys, so you came in through the arts route. So you're studying arts, you're doing English and history. So tell us about why you decided to choose arts and why you decided to study in Maynooth University.
Well, a lot of my family members have gone to Maynooth, so I've always had that thing at home. So people were able to tell me about it, and I always heard good stories about it. But I suppose for myself personally, it wasn't until when I actually went to the open days that I seen it for myself. You know, and I seen kind of the campus. It's a small. Obviously, Maynooth is a small place. It's kind of quiet. It's quaint. It's nice. I like it. But the campus is actually very welcoming, and I always found that since being here, the lecturers, faculty, staff, they're all very accommodating, and they're all very friendly.
And so when you went into first year, then you had an option of like over 30 subjects to you, yeah? So what subjects did you study in first year to build up your 60 credits?
Yeah, for first year, so I did the history and English, and then I took on critical skills, which you drop back in first year, which was really good now because critical skills, like it kind of gives you a basis of what you need to know, kind of the academic side of things for college and kind of to get you through college. So basically, like it gives you the basis and foundations of referencing, essay writing, analyzing texts and stuff. So it really helps you for your coming years.
That's great. That's great. Like, do you feel like it's helped you now, do you know, as you've progressed in your college years that you're like, wow, I'm so happy I chose critical skills in first year?
Absolutely, yeah. And even talking to a few of my friends who haven't done it, there's a difference there clearly, and they often kind of ask me to kind of how to help them out, and they don't really understand how I know it, but it's because I taught critical skills.
So you're like, I know critical skills. And then Rachel, so you're doing primary teaching, which is a really popular degree. So tell us about why you chose primary school teaching firstly, and then secondly, maybe tell us why you decided to study in Maynooth.
Yeah, cool. So I kind of always knew that I wanted to be a primary school teacher. I loved it when I was younger. I had a really great experience, thankfully, and it was just something I always wanted to do. So for me, it wasn't really an option of what will I do. It's kind of where will I do it. And I found that I loved Maynooth as a campus. I was really drawn to the fact that the primary teaching department is on campus, so that we get a chance to socialize with other students who aren't studying primary school teaching, especially with the fact that there's so many facilities like the Students' Union, Phoenix, the club societies. It was a really nice chance to mix with everybody. And I also loved the fact that with the Frebel department, we have such small year groups. So I think there might be roughly 60 in my year now, and we all know each other really, really well. We're really, really familiar with the lecturers. They all know us. So it's really nice in that sense too, that we have a bit of a bond like that. So yeah, that's probably the main reasons.
And I guess like Rachel, so in Frebel, go through, just explain the course a little bit to me and like the different kind of modules that you have for primary teaching, and then maybe we could chat a little bit about placement.
Yeah, perfect. So placement is a really big part of the course as well. It's kind of a mixture between lectures and placement. So in first year, we study the majority of the modules, and our course is also divided into A weeks and B weeks. So that just basically means that you might have PE this week, but you won't have it next week, and you'll have it again the following week. So it's every second week kind of a thing. And that just means it's nice for like tasks or readings and stuff that you have that extra bit of time to get them done. Even for assignments or little things like that, you've plenty of time to work on those yourself. We do a huge range of modules. So we study the primary school curriculum subjects. So there's 11 of those: English, Irish, Maths, SPHE, SESE, which is science, geography, and history. And then we also do PE, music, drama, and art. I feel like I've named them all, but I might have missed one. There's a few of them. And then we also do foundation modules, so like psychology, sociology, philosophy. We learn about including every child, intercultural education. there's a huge range of topics that all kind of tie in together, but it's really, really interesting, and they're kind of all done throughout the 4 years. So
And it's such a kind of variety of different things as well, isn't it? And I'd say it's
yeah,
probably helped you a lot when you're going in doing your placement, has it?
yeah, like there are things that I like as a student in Leaving Cert, I would never even have thought of having to study sociology. But then once you do it, you realize how important it is when you're in the classroom and getting to know the kids and stuff. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. It's opened my eyes to a lot more than
Yeah,
just
I'd say
what I
so.
thought, you know. Yeah, it's brilliant.
And you've done how many placements so far now in this point of your
So I
degree?
finished my last placement in January,
Wow.
thankfully. So that's all done now. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. So we do one placement in first year, two in second and third year, and then a 10-week block in final year. So
And who sources the placement? Do you source it? Do Freble source it? Like, what way does it go?
it depends on the placement. So in first year, you source that yourself, because they usually would say, you know, go back to your old primary school, even just that you're familiar with things like that. And then in second year, they will source the placement for you for both placements. And third year, they source the first one and you source the second one. And
Okay.
then in fourth year, they'll source it for you as well.
Okay.
So it's nice to
Cool.
have that support as well, you know, that they
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
can
I'd say
help
so
out.
that you can have that there as well. I'd say, did you go
Yeah.
back to your primary school?
Yeah, I did.
Ah,
Yeah, in first
lovely.
year. So it was lovely.
Yeah, that's nice. It's kind of like a comfort of it as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
And I guess it's kind of the classroom you're most familiar with as well, isn't it? It was your own
that's it.
classroom.
Yeah.
And Thomason, you are going on placement, aren't you?
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about that, about the whole placement as part of your degree and how you source your placement and that kind of.
So you have an option for placement in third year. So the whole process kind of starts in second year. You sign up with the placement office and you upload your CV to the placement office, and then you're added to your Moodle page, and then there's like a job form that is there, and you can like click it and see what's available, and you can apply, send your CV to Martina in the placement office, and then yeah, you can either get your placement through the placement office or you can get it by yourself. So there's like two options there. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. That's really good, isn't it? Are you excited? So it's next year, is it?
Yeah,
And are you excited to go?
I'm really excited.
It's cool because you'll kind of get a bit like a taste of the workforce before you go
Yeah.
into it, and you'll have that experience going out of your degree as well, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question I kind of want to ask Erin is what you like the most about it. Can be Maynooth University, just your degree. What do you like the most? We might start with Reese this time.
Sorry, about my degree or the campus itself. Sorry.
Anything in general. What do you enjoy most about your degree and Maynooth and in general?
Well, one thing I don't know about everyone else, but I find that the on-campus accommodation is great because I'm lucky enough to have it and to get it. I've had it the last 2 years, and I've always had positive experiences there. And it does help. And I know a lot of people are kind of worried about mixing with new people and seeing new people and living with them, especially. But they're in the same boat as you, so it's actually if you think of that, then you're grand. But it's always the best experiences in your apartment and just getting to know your housemates and it's your own home there and making it your own. But I always find it very comfortable in there.
That's lovely. And then Claudia, what about you?
So I agree with Reese there. So I was in on-campus accommodation for first year and this year, and I just completely agree with everything he said. It's like you make it your own home, and you make the people that live there like kind of like your family. So it's a really cool experience. And the thing I most enjoy about my course would be the practical aspect of it. I get to the lab so when we were back on campus, I could go to the lab twice a week. So I would do 4 hours of biology labs and 4 hours of chemistry labs. And it's a really good way to meet people that are in your course, because most of the time you don't get to be in the labs with your friends. So it's a nice way to like mix around and mingle and meet other people. And me being a visual learner, I feel like when I do like experiments, I learn a lot more than just kind of like reading a book. So if people are visual learners and are hoping to are hoping to do my course, they'll definitely get a lot of experience out of it, and Yeah, and it's really good when you come out of college and if you decide to work in a lab, they're skills that you will definitely need and use.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thanks so much, Claudia. What about you, Rachel?
I feel for me that the thing I like the most is the huge choice of clubs and societies that Maynooth has. So I personally would have joined the basketball club and then the Frebel Society as well. So it was nice to have that mix, and even as I said before, like to be able to meet new people and kind of even get to know people that are on my course better as well. It was great to have that kind of social outlet that wasn't just focused on academics as much. So I really enjoyed that, and the facilities for the basketball club is brilliant as well. The Phoenix has a full-size gym, or a court and a gym, so it's great for training, for matches and everything. So I really enjoy that.
Lovely. And Thomason, what about you?
I agree with Rachel. I love because like I wasn't on campus, so I was really nervous about making friends. So joining clubs and societies was like really helpful in like just meeting people. And I really love how friendly people are at Minute. I was just able to like talk to the person beside me in lectures, and we'll just be getting on, and it's just a really nice aura at Minute. So yeah. And one thing I love about my course is just again how broad it is. I love the mix of subjects that I'm studying. So yeah.
What we might do actually is just to see. So just for our attendees joining in, we're going to see who's interested in which courses. So do you want to? So we're asking our attendees, raise your hand if you are interested in studying MH201 science in Maynooth, and we'll see if we have many people interested. And Claudia's great. Cool. We have a few. Brilliant. And then raise your hand if you're interested in Frebel in primary school teaching. Cool. We have some teachers with us as well, some future teachers. And what about marketing or any of our business degrees in Maynooth? Raise your hand for that. Okay, cool. We have some people in with us as well. Great. And then lastly, what about if you're interested in arts like Reese? Raise your hand. Cool. We have some arts, some future art students with us as well. Great. Wow, lovely. That is perfect. So I guess what I want to know is who commuted, who commutes, who stayed on campus. If you just want to go around and let me know where you're from and how you got to campus, or where did you stay, you know, what your accommodation kind of route was. So Claudia, do you want to kick it off?
So in Ireland, I live in County Meath. So it was a bit of a commute if I wanted to go to college every day. So what I decided to do in first year was I stayed on campus accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. It was great to kick off my first year in college. I got to meet so many new friends. And the cool thing about campus is that you meet the people that you live with, but you also meet their friends and they meet your friends. So you get to meet so many new people. Yeah, because you'd be in the kitchen and then they'd come with a friend and you're like, oh, okay, hello. And you'd go with to your apartment with your friend and they'll meet them, and then you'll get like
your bubble kind of like
you'll get
expands
to know
by the day.
yeah,
Like
you get to know
your
everyone.
circle.
It's really cool. And then you get to meet like people from other apartments, and it's great fun. If there's people here that are thinking about going for on-campus accommodation, I would 110% recommend it.
Thanks, Claudia.
And then
What about?
in second
Oh yeah, sorry,
year,
no, you're still going.
sorry.
No, keep
No, in
going. I'm
second
wanting
year,
to
okay.
hear.
In second year, I lived in digs because I couldn't get on campus accommodation. Because
Okay,
if you
so just
get on the
explain
website, it
quickly,
just
sorry, what
flies.
digs are. Sorry,
So
interruption
it's
there. Yeah.
basically there's families in Maynooth that offer, like, they rent out a bedroom in their house. So you get to live with them. And my experience was absolutely amazing. I had a great family, and yeah, we had dinner together every day
Oh,
basically, and
lovely.
it was lovely, yeah. And then she'd, like, the mom of the house, she'd text me every day and be like, I made dinner for you, will I leave it in the fridge for you? Oh, it was just great.
Besties, like besties.
Yeah, literally. And then this year I was living in on-campus accommodation, but I decided to move out because of COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally fair.
And then the other day, on Monday, I applied for on-campus accommodation for next year, so I got that.
Ah, exciting. Well
Yeah,
done. I'd say
so
you're so
that's
excited
great.
right now, are you?
Oh, I was delighted.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Thank you, Claudia. What about you, Rachel?
So I'm actually from Maynooth, so that kind of made it quite easy for me. I just would walk to college every day now, but I live on the other side of Maynooth, and it's still so handy for walking. It's maybe about a 20-minute walk.
Oh, grand.
Yeah, it's so handy. It's ideal, and it's not like like the route is nice. You know, you're walking through the town and you're kind of getting that bit of atmosphere as well, which is lovely to see. So yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like it's a 20-minute walk. Like it
Yeah.
feels probably shorter than that, because you can probably stop off on the way. You go and get a coffee or whatever. Like there's lovely coffee shops and restaurants and everything in Maynooth, isn't there? And
so many, yeah.
like it's a lovely little town. It's gorgeous. And then Thompson, what about you?
So in first year I had a digs, but I wouldn't really call it a digs because I wasn't living with a family. I was living with just one person. And
Okay.
I was like renting out a room, and that was honestly so nice. Like it was lovely just living with that person. Yeah, she was she wasn't a student in Maynooth, but it was lovely to have, and she was actually from Maynooth. She was like Maynooth native, so yeah, she got to like she was just
So you
telling
got to know everything about the town.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Better.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
sorry, go on, Thompson. Yeah.
I'm actually originally from Leitrim, so I would have had to get accommodation in first year anyway, and then in second year now I'm living at home because of COVID.
Lovely. And then Reese, what about you?
Yes, as I said, I had accommodation there last 2 years, but it's very good. Said again, actually, I only applied no different to Claudia. I applied for the quiet zone this year. I got it there actually, so it is for that. You know, it is very good. I've always had a positive experiences with it. As I said, everyone's in the same boat, so it kind of helps you just to remember that, you know, we're all in it together. You know, we're all kind of have the same insecurities and angst going into college. So if you just kind of I suppose use that as a way to kind of get to know people as well, and you can get to know them like that.
And Reese, what is the quiet zone?
So it's basically campus accommodation. It's the exact same, only there's a I suppose not a curfew as such, but there's a time limit on when you're allowed to be up and being rowdy, making noise, I suppose. So hence the quiet zone. But it's probably suits people better who are going into their third or final years, who are trying to knuckle down their studies and don't need any distractions from other people kind of around them. The main block of accommodation.
That's really cool. There's just a few questions. I might just take one or two questions just now before we get back to our chat. So one of the questions were, which societies did you join? So Thompson, I might start that off with you. Which societies did you join?
So I joined the AfriTalk first, and then I joined Purpose, and then I joined the volleyball club as well.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And what type of events do they have on campus? Did you go to any of their events?
Yeah, they had loads of events. They had quizzes, they had discussions, they would have panels. It was like really interesting. You're gonna meet so many people once that happens. So yeah.
That's cool. Reese, what about you?
Yeah, I didn't get any chance to do any this year because my studies kind of piled up this year, and no different to COVID. But last year I did get to go into a few clubs. I didn't get a chance to go into the societies, but I regret it a lot because I had a few friends that speak owners about it. But I got into the aquatics club, powerlifting club, and the boxing club. So I just kind of managed to staying fit and looking after myself a bit. So I had to do something.
That's cool. And would you go to like training? Like what would be kind of, I guess the events are kind of different then, are they? That it's more like training and meetups?
Yeah, there's not no events as such. It's mostly training, and then you get into competitions and stuff. So the powerlifting and boxing, that's done on campus. But then for the aquatics, you're training in Dublin in the NAC, the National Aquatic Centre. So you're familiar with that.
That's cool. And then Claudia, what about you? Did you join any societies?
So in first and second year, I was part of the Women in STEM Society.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it was great. So it was really good to like meet other women that were interested in science and like engineering and maths and stuff like that. And yeah, it was great. Like we had like pizza nights, and then we had like panels, discussions, and even now I'm not part of it this year, but I know I follow their Instagram and they put up like links and they're like, join us if you want to like bump up your CV and learn how to do this, or yeah, it's great.
That's actually a great idea to even like for anyone that was thinking of coming to Maynooth is to look at like these societies kind of Instagram pages and get an idea for the events that they have on campus or like the kind of mixer events and how easy it is to meet other people or make
Oh yeah.
friends through these societies, and how it's such a great opportunity to get involved in.
I remember
Rachel,
when I was
oh yeah,
in
sorry, Claudia.
sorry.
No, I want to hear your story.
No,
Tell me.
when I was in second year, I met this girl at one of the panels, and we would then go to the library together and then help each other on our maths assignments and stuff like that. And I wouldn't have met her if I hadn't gone to this things. So it was really nice.
That's lovely. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And Rachel, what about you? Did you join any societies?
Yeah, so I joined the Rebel Society, and that was basically just kind of like a society where we could all come together and, as I said before, like mix socially. So for example, they would run like fundraisers. So we'd have like a cabaret for Kolkata, because
Ooh.
Frebel raised money with the Frebel Hope Foundation, and usually fourth year students would go to India then and work with kids over there for a while during the summer. So we would do a lot of fundraising for that throughout the year. We'd have a Frebel ball as well, which is always good fun. um, and then, as I said, I did the basketball club as well. So we had training then every Monday and Wednesday evenings, which was nice, just a chance to kind of meet up with other people and, as Reese is kind of saying, just get a bit of exercise in that way. And then we'd have matches and stuff too. And there's varsity tournaments as well. So that's usually where you would go to a host college. So we went to Limerick for one of them, and we stayed there for 2 nights, I think it was. It was a weekend anyway, playing basketball and stuff. And then just before COVID last year, I started getting into yoga, but unfortunately that all kind of
Oh.
came to a halt. But it was really good. I really enjoyed that.
And I guess the cool thing is in like Clubs and Socks Day, it's a big, massive day that like
Yeah.
all the societies are lined up, and it's typically around €2, isn't it, to join a club or society?
Yeah,
But it's
about
like
that.
a massive kind of day for the year. Did you guys find it difficult trying to pick what societies to join? Did you go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so there's another question here. Are there many, and actually just something I've seen people have raised their hands, just because there's so many people in Middle State, it might be better to just put your questions into the Q&A and then we can get to them all that way if it's possible. So one of the questions are there many job opportunities around Maynooth or on campus? So Thompson, do you want to take that one?
I wouldn't know too much
No,
about
that's
that.
okay.
But I think I had friends who had jobs on campus. There's like the Londis on campus, and I think there's like restaurants in the Phoenix that hire students as well. So there's like jobs you can get on campus, but I wouldn't know more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Would anyone else have anything else? Anyone else know of any other job opportunities? I guess student ambassadors, like these guys here, they're all student ambassadors, so that's also a good opportunity and to kind of put yourself out there and get to know other student ambassadors as well, and kind of represent your course of study. Any other opportunities anyone can think of?
I would just know from kind of being around Maynooth, like during the summer versus when all the students are here, that like the places would kind of hire more, because of course it's busier during the kind of semesters and things like that. So like even the cafes would be, looking for people.
Yeah.
I know like a few of my friends have gotten jobs and, ended up then staying up at the weekends and stuff when we were in third year and this year as well. So there are a few places definitely, yeah.
That's good. Thanks so much, Rachel, and thanks Thompson for that. So I guess one of the questions is, and I guess that all of you are having online lectures right now, and a really important question and really interesting is, was it hard for you, and are your departments thinking about blended learning for the next semester? So just, I'll get that blended learning question firstly, and it's just that obviously the college wants to bring everyone back onto campus, and we're following all government guidelines really. But how did the pandemic affect you guys and your studies? Reese, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, so for a lot of people, I suppose it affected them a lot. It's just impractical more than anything. Now, I'm only studying history and English, so I have no practical work or anything. So there's no massive need for me to be on campus in lecture halls. But it's not. It's just nicer to be in a lecture hall. It's nicer to have that. And if you do have a question, it's a lot more fluid. If you do need to ask something, and especially in tutorials as well, when they're small classes, it's a lot easier to ask questions and talk and get your point across if you do need to say something. Because I mean, a lot of people have issues with mics and stuff on their laptops. They're not able to type out an issue they have, and then they end up not asking at all just because it's impractical. So for me personally, it's just been impractical more than anything, but for other people, it's complete shambles altogether.
Yeah, thanks so much, Reese, for that. Claudia, do you want to take it as well?
Yeah, I'd say it was kind of challenging, because I know, like, even when all this, like, the pandemic started, I know some of our lecturers weren't even like ready or even knew how to use certain platforms, and it was kind of a mess for a few weeks. But they all kind of like pitched in at the end and tried their best, which was really nice. But I definitely just like miss like going to a lecture and then coming out of a lecture, like walking to to and from a building. That's really nice. Or even just like my practicals, which I obviously don't get to do on campus. Everything's just online. We watch videos and then type up like the lab report. And I definitely just miss going into the lab and messing around and like just even chatting to my lab partners and stuff. But yeah, it's just been challenging overall.
Yeah, no, and it's good to note that as well, just to say it. Another question. So what is student life like in Maynooth, well, pre-COVID? Rachel, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I think student life in Maynooth is really, really good. In terms of like on campus, there's plenty of events going on. The Students' Union would run like different kind of weeks as well, which is great because it means there's different activities and things going on throughout the campus during those weeks, which is really, really ideal. And then as well in Maynooth as a town, like there's plenty of nightclubs and stuff like that, for going out during the week. Then there's like a swimming pool and stuff as well in Maynooth that you could go become a member of and go swimming. There's places nearby as well, like in terms of there's like a bowling alley and stuff just out the road. There's plenty of buses and trains as well. So even getting into Dublin for a day, like you could easily do that. But socially, yeah, definitely, it's a really, really nice place to be, and I feel like um everyone is just kind of so friendly, and it's because it's a university town. You kind of would have an idea of a lot of people anyway, through meeting them like through different things. So I think it's nice in that sense. There's plenty to do and plenty of people around to do it with. So
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much, Rachel. And I guess like on that, so Maynooth is a university town, and it's kind of broken into two campuses, South Campus and North Campus. And if anyone wants to have a look, we have, if you go onto the mu.e/open days website, there's a tab there for campus, and there's a virtual campus store there. So maybe we'll just describe campus a little bit to everyone, because virtually it would be gorgeous on a day like today. Hello. Reese, do you want to maybe explain a little bit about the different, like South Campus, North Campus, and give a like brief overview of Maynooth?
Yeah. So the North Campus is where you'll have your trying to get this right, the library. So it's where the library and then back all behind that. It's kind of the older part of the college. So you have South Campus for I think I can speak for everyone when I say that's where all the main lectures and the majority of the lectures are happening. So you have your different buildings, and then you have the Londis there as well on Saturn campus, which is fairly handy, especially if you're on campus accommodation. It's right, the Londis is right beside it, so you can go in there in and out all you want. And then also have the bookshop there in the same building. So if the majority of the time they'll have the books you need for your courses, and then if not, you can get onto your lecture and they can work out and get the bookshop to order the books as well. But you can buy all your stationery there as well, so you're not left looking for anything.
That's really helpful. And somebody's just after asking, how far is the South Campus to the north?
They're right next to each other.
Yeah, you could
It depends
stand
what side
between
of
the two of
the
them.
yeah.
And you could wave to one friend on the North Campus and then wave to another friend on the South Campus. So on that, so there's really like loads of gorgeous places on campus, and people, they have their own kind of highlights. So maybe I'll just check with everyone what their favorite thing on either South Campus or North Campus is. What's your favorite place on both campuses? Who wants to take it first? I'll let whoever wants to jump in first. Oh,
So for
Now you
me,
got it.
I'd say South Campus would be like where the admissions office and all that is. I can't remember what that building is called. I just think
Humanity
it's
House.
fab. Yeah, I just think that building is fab. Just even to go for a walk around there, I love that.
Yeah, it's very
It's
like
my favorite place in
Instagrammable.
South Campus.
Rachel, what about you? What's your favorite? Either campuses?
I feel like similar to Claudia, the South Campus, but down the back where the pitches kind of are, just the big kind of green area down the back there. I
Oh
love going around there
yeah,
on walks. Yeah, I think that's gorgeous. So nice on a day like today as well. Like the sun coming through the trees is just lovely.
definitely. Thompson, what about you?
On the South Campus, I really like the area around the clock tower. I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, just sitting there when the sun is out is really nice. And then on the North Campus, I really love sitting in the Student Union. I think that's like my favorite place.
And Reese, what about you?
I think my favorite place overall has to be the library. I don't know, it's something about it. I just find it really comfortable, and I'm practically living there with all the reading and writing I'm doing. So that's gonna be home.
That's fair. Your home is the library.
Yeah.
And guys, okay, what was your favorite part of online learning? So, Thompson, we'll start with you for that one.
I think not having exams.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was definitely a key. Just like I think my modules got more assessments in them instead of having just exams at the end. I was being like I had assignments here and there and group assignments, which I think I prefer over just having one exam. So that's my favorite part of online learning.
Yeah, fair. Rachel, what about you?
I actually didn't even think of that until you said it, but I completely agree.
Thompson's got a ball rolling here. It's going to keep going on for everyone. Good. Something else, Rachel. Come on, give us something else.
I do like the fact that in my course we would have all of our lectures live, so we still have quite a strict timetable, I suppose, but it's lovely to have that kind of time that you can do the work that you need to get done. Like you've so much more time for it, I feel, because it's not like for certain people maybe catching a train to go home or like a bus to get home or anything like that. So I think that kind of like extra free time maybe is nice. Yeah.
Rachel, were you on campus at all this year?
Yeah, we were on campus for the first semester because our class groups are so small that we actually fit in with the government guidelines at the time, thankfully. So we just had all of our seats 1 meter apart, and then there was ones that were 2 meters apart as well down the back of the rooms if there was people with underlying health conditions and stuff, or if you just felt more comfortable down the back, that was there for you. And then when we came in to our classrooms or our lecture halls, we had to take a wipe and wipe down our desk and our chair and stuff, sanitize hands. Masks were on the whole time as well. And then they were all kind of staggered. So like if we left at 5 to 10, the next group would leave at 10, or would have left at 10 to 10. So there's not like huge crowds coming in and out all the time. And I suppose where we would have usually been based just in the Frebel building or the School of Education, we were kind of scattered around campus this time just to kind of allow for less crowds and more movement and that kind of thing. And all the windows and doors and stuff were open too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. It's good to know as well that some what classes were on campus as well.
Yeah.
That kind of way. And Claudia, what about you? What's your favorite part of online
So
learning?
unlike the
And not
girls,
the
I do
exams.
still have exams. So we do have I had some exams last May. I did have written assignments, but I also had exams, and I will be having exams next month.
Well, best of luck in your exams next month.
Thank you. I think even just being home and doing things from the comfort of my own home is nice sometimes, because sometimes I felt like on campus I was kind of rushing around all the time. Because
Yeah, that's
you
a good
have
point.
like about 10 minutes between lectures, and then sometimes you feel like you're just running around the place. So I do feel like sometimes just being home and sitting on your desk and doing your lectures from home is nice, although I do miss campus. So that's probably one of the things I like, the positive side of online learning.
Yeah, exactly. There's a positive side as well. Thank you,
Yeah.
Claudia. What about you, Reese? What's your favorite part of online learning?
Probably the fact that the lecturers are recorded. They're all recorded, so you can always just go back, and you're not relying on your notes if you miss something, or if you took poor notes or whatever it is. You can always just go back and rewatch the lectures whenever you need to refresh the memory.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And then Rachel, I guess I'll ask you this question. Is there a basketball court on campus?
Yeah, There is, yeah, a full-size basketball court, and plenty of basketballs and equipment and everything as well. So yeah, it's all there for us.
And then Reese, actually, you might know, tell me about the facilities. There's a gym on campus. What's there?
Yeah, so it's in the Phoenix building, and you have your basketball court, which is used for it's kind of a multi-purpose kind of area, multifunction. Then you have the weights room, which is separate to the gym itself. The weights room is solely just for kind of the heavier weights and machines. And then upstairs from that is just the main gym itself, where you have your treadmills and your bikes and a lot of the other machines there. But that's probably the extent of where I would have been on campus. There's the odd multifunction room where we would have done the boxing training, powerlifting training.
That's really helpful. Thanks so much. What I was thinking of next is that, you know, when you transition from secondary school to college, there's things that are really different, and there's some things that are just the same. But what do you guys think was the biggest change for you going from secondary school into university? So, Claudia, I might take that with you first.
Yeah. I think that when I was in school, I felt like everything was kind of like handed to us rather than, no, I actually do feel that way. I always say it was handed to us in a silver platter, because I felt like every single thing we needed, it was just given to us. Whereas in college, you kind of just have to do your own research about everything. You have to plan your weeks to make sure you get everything done in time. In school, they're always like, oh yeah, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. But in college, they're not going to be like, get your assignment done, you know? If it's not there, the due date, yeah. So I think that was the biggest change for me, because I was always so used to everything was you were being told what to do all the time, and in college you kind of have to find your own way about everything.
Yeah,
That was the biggest change for me.
Yeah, that is a big change you kind of forget about as well, is that we don't realize it's going to happen. It's okay, I'm responsible, I need to get my things, and nobody's going to remind me. I have to remind myself. And I guess it's probably important then, like to-do lists or that kind of, would you guys use to-do lists? Would anyone do like to-do lists?
Yeah, every day.
Would you? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What would you use?
Day.
Would you use it on your laptop, or would you use it on your, like, a diary? What would you do?
I like to handwrite my notes. So every day when I sit down on my desk to get college stuff done, I write literally to do, and I write bullet points and just kind of write what I have to do. And then I love the feeling of like just scratching something done, like you're done. Yeah. I love that. So that's nice. And if I visualize what I have to do, I get it done a lot more, a lot faster. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that is. It's kind of that sense of achievement, isn't it? Like done, gone in the past, on to the next one. Thomas, and what about you? What was the biggest kind of shock change for you?
Yeah, I think like Claudia, like as much as the lecturers are there to support you, they're not really there to baby you. So you definitely have to have, you know, your work done, do your part, and make sure you hand in assignments, or if you have a good project, do your part. So I think that's definitely like the biggest shock when I came to university. So yeah.
And Rachel, what about you?
Yeah, similar enough, I suppose. Like time management, maybe, because I feel as though maybe in secondary school you'd be given homework and it's due the next day, whereas in university it's a lot more like your assignment's due in 3 months' time. So you have to kind of make sure that you schedule that in and you're not leaving things till the very last minute. And I think then maybe as well, just in terms of like the social life and your academic life, like trying to find that balance time wise, and just making sure that you're not going 90 in the library day in day out, but then that you're not there at all either, that kind of a way. So probably that it's not like here's your timetable and you're going to go home and do your homework and do your study, but probably just finding your feet that in that sense.
Yeah, and I guess it's that kind of shift, isn't it? You're kind of on to the next stage of your life, and it's okay, I need to
yeah, like although you're ready for that responsibility, it just takes a bit of getting used to, that's all.
Yeah. Reese, what about you?
I think I have to agree with everyone there. It's basically just that new kind of self-directed learning with everything. I mean, for me on campus and as well, you're practically running your own house. You have, and there's all the different chores and stuff that go along with that. So you're not just studying; you're also trying to keep the house in order as well. So it's all self-directed. As I said, I mean, your lecturers, as Thomas has said, they are there for you, and they're 100% going to help you if you need help. But they're not going to be watching over your shoulder or looking after you that kind of way. So it is self-directed, and it's a bit more responsibility you have to take on. And some people actually do like that sense of independence when they go into college.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Really good tips there as well, and like knowledge and insight. So another question has come in, and it's, what did a typical day at college look like pre-COVID versus now? So Rachel, you'll take that one first.
Yeah, sure. So our course, well, in first year especially, it would have been quite full on in terms of like lecture hours. So even though I live in Maynooth and could have walked home, I would have stayed in. Like if I was in from 9 till 6, I would have stayed in for the day, and kind of maybe in the breaks of lectures gone with my friends for a walk, gone and gotten coffee or lunch somewhere, gone to the library depending on what's kind of coming up or is due, and then probably would have then gone home and probably depending on the night gone and gotten ready to go out, something like that, and kind of just using the time, I suppose, between lectures kind of wisely, I guess, just that we could enjoy ourselves on the night out and you weren't like, oh goodness, now my assignment's due tomorrow and I haven't started, or whatever, kind of a way like that. So that probably would have been like somewhat a typical day, I guess.
Yeah. And Thompson, what about you?
I think just coming to campus, going to lectures, but at the same time hanging with my friends at their apartments and just socializing and going to the library and study groups, little study groups, and then, you know, having your social life at the end of the day. I think it's just what I miss most. So yeah.
We'll be back soon. We'll be back soon.
Fingers
And the
crossed.
gorgeous campus and the sun like today. We'll be back. We'll be back. Reese, what about you?
Yeah, so I think obviously there was a lot more socializing pre-COVID. So the socializing and meeting up for coffee and stuff kind of turned into just texts and FaceTimes and all the rest. So, but essentially it's the same stuff. And for me anyway, with college work itself, the hours haven't changed. It's just where I am and you know what I'm doing at, like with socializing, is how I'm socializing with my friends has changed. It's all online.
Right, thanks, Reese. And Claudia, what about you?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of very, very similar for everyone. You kind of just go to your lectures and try to socialize with your friends and then get your assignments done, and you know, so yeah, it's very similar. And now it's just I sit on my laptop and I do my lectures and my assignment. It's basically the same thing, but just instead of being on campus, at home, at least for me anyway.
And then a question just has come in for Reese. So what were the on-campus hours for arts in first year between both lectures and tutorials?
There are 12 hours, I think, in total for the week. 12.
And it was divided then. So what would your, like, how many lectures or tutorials would you typically have? So sorry, actually, do you know what? Explain just the difference between lectures and tutorials maybe a little bit first before we say.
So I suppose I'll take history for example. So for your lecture in history, depending on the module you're doing, you're going to have around maybe 200 people in a lecture hall. They're generally really big subjects with in terms of students taking them. So what the college does for you, then they break up that say 200, roughly 200 people into tutorial groups, which is around 10 people, and you go into your own little classroom where you can actually talk to, obviously in a lecture hall full of 200 people, you're not really going to be able to talk to your lecturer. So the tutorials give you a space where you can talk to your tutor and ask them direct questions about your past maybe lecture if you didn't understand something, or if you have any queries about the lecture, any information.
That's
That
great.
was it. But yeah, generally it was 12 hours, but so that's broken up. So you'll have two tutorials in total. So you'll have a tutorial for your main compulsory module in each subject.
Great, thank you. I have a random question for everyone. I haven't prepared or haven't said this to the panel. I want to know, okay, how you made your first friend in first year in college. Oh, I see you're like, oh. So I want to know, just randomly, how you made your first friend that like you met in Maynooth, your very first external, not somebody you knew from school or anything. Thompson, maybe we'll start with you.
I met my first friend at Launchpad. So
Oh, explain actually Launchpad. That's a really good point
yeah.
there as well, if you don't
So
mind.
Launchpad, it's like an event that happens before university actually starts. So you're able to like meet so many people before, you know, the first day. And I met my friend Neve. So we were in the same apartment. It was actually it's a 3 day event. So you're living on campus for those 3 days, and we were in the same apartment, and we're still friends till this day. So it's really nice.
That's nice. And
Yeah.
Launchpad is run by the Access office as well.
Yeah.
Rachel, what about you?
I remember meeting my first friend during orientation week. We were in Aula Maxima having one of the the talks. And I feel like I was just sat beside her, and it was kind of like, well, what course are you doing? Oh, same. Oh, what's your name? Oh, nice. And we just kind of got talking that way, and then ended up going for coffee together then afterwards, and just, yeah, we've stayed in touch since. Yeah.
That's lovely. Reese will be, I don't know, I'm a bit scared here. Reese,
No,
it's a smart girl.
it's reliving the moment. So no, actually, I didn't even go up to him. He came up to me. We were sitting in the history lecture, and he just sat down right next to me and said hi. So you know, their juice come up to me. I wouldn't have came up to him. I wouldn't have to do that now. So no.
Look at that. And now I'm sure you're still friends, are you?
Yes, yeah, best friends.
Lovely. And Claudia, what about you?
So I met my best friend the first day I moved to campus. So I moved in, I think it was a Sunday, and I think I was the first person to move into the apartment. It was about 11:30, and I unpacked everything. I put it all like away, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm still like the only one here. What will I do? So I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden someone knocked on my door. I was like, I freaked out for a second. I was like, oh my God. And I opened the door, and a girl, she went, hi, my name is Eva. Do you want to go for a walk? I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, I'm your roommate here. I was like, that's perfect. So we went around. I remember we went around to South Campus, and we started talking about what course we were doing in college. And she was like, oh, I'm doing general science. I was like, oh, I'm doing general science too. So yeah, and then we've been best friends since.
That's lovely. It kind of just shows
really
us that everyone's in the same boat, isn't it? When you first start first year, that you just have to put yourself out there, and that's just the way you have you make friends. You just
I'll never forget the rush of panic that went through my body when she knocked on my door. I was like, I thought I was the only person there still.
Claire's like in sweats there thinking about it. We just have a few more minutes left, so if anyone has any last questions, feel free to put them into the Q&A. But I guess like we have a lot of prospective students that have joined us and that are with us in this webinar. So my last kind of question for everyone is, what advice would you give to prospective students? So Rachel, do you want to start that one off?
Yeah, I suppose the main thing for me would just be probably to have no regrets. You know, with the kind of work you put in, I suppose with like towards your exams, you know, the kind of thinking about what course would be perfect for you, and making sure that you really go through the prospectus and just read through it, and make like informed decisions. Because we have so much to offer here at Maynooth University. So I think that would be a really kind of, you know, a good kind of useful thing to do. But I suppose, yeah, just having no regrets, and kind of just being comfortable with what you do, and what, you know, it'll all work out kind of thing.
That's great. Thanks so much, Rachel. Thomason, what about you? What advice would you give to prospective students?
When you get your course and you come to Maynooth, definitely try, just like as Rachel said before, try to figure out your balance between your social and your academic life. I think that's the most important thing to get in order when you start. So yeah, just definitely finding the balance between those two.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Good tip, guys. And Claudia?
So I think something I would have liked to tell myself when I was back in first year was it's okay not to know. So because as I said, I didn't know if I wanted to do biology, I wanted to do chemistry, I wanted to do bioscience. I didn't know. So it's okay not to know what you're going to do or what you're going to come out doing when you come out of college. So you'll find your way going through as you go through the years here. And also it's okay not to come to college without, like, if you have no friends coming to college, because you will meet so many big people. As some of you all said, like, you'll sit at the lecture and people will just chat to you, because we're all in the same boat. Like, no one knows everyone, and like the person that's next to you is probably going to be feeling the exact same thing, you know. So it's okay, and that's something I would have liked to know when I was in leaving service. That's for sure. Yeah.
And Reese, what about you?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, like it's very easy, to be anxious coming into college. But again, as you said, everyone's in the same boat, and no one comes into college ready for college. I mean, it's something you have to develop, a skill you develop nearly as your years progress here. So I mean, no one's ready. We're all in the same boat. I wouldn't be, even though it's all right to be nervous, just don't take it too seriously because it's only going to get better. Like,
Definitely. And actually, I want to know quickly. Now, again, nobody has to know, but I'm curious as to what your dream end goal is at the end of your degree, if you know it at this moment in time. Rachel, you're primary teacher, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fairly set. Just hopefully get a job in a lovely school that I'm happy in and just teach away.
After the best years of your life in Maynooth as well.
Exactly.
Thomason, what about you?
Just graduating and getting a job that I enjoy. I think that's important. So
That's
yeah.
the dream. The
Mhm.
dream. And Reese, what about you?
hopefully go into journalism and start writing for maybe papers or something. See where that brings me anyway.
Lovely. And Claudia, what about you?
So I'm hoping that once I graduate, my GPA is good, so I can apply to do a master's in cancer research.
Wow, that's so interesting. Wow, we have really interesting career paths here, guys. So I guess we've just like 3 more minutes left. If anyone's put in any last questions, feel free to. Otherwise, we might just get ready to finish it. So this is the last webinar slot of the day, but the recording will be available from next week. If you want to query anything or if you have any questions, you can email us on admissions@mu.ie. A full list of our courses is on mu.ie/level 8, and there's a little box in the corner that says ask, and that's web chat where you can ask us any questions. Then if you'd like to speak to our students, we have a channel, a webpage called mu.ie/ask-student, and some of our students here are on it as well, and they can answer your questions. Then now from 1 to 3 p.m, the virtual open day will continue with live Q&A chats with all your future lecturers if you have any questions for them. And there's also like presentations available that you can watch on degree programs and learn a bit more. And then if you have any questions, you can either put them in the chat box there, or you can check with us in admissions and we'll be happy to get back to you. So I firstly want to thank my colleague Emma Shine, who is in the background and is monitoring the Q&A and is super helpful there. I see that 2 people have their hands up. If you actually just want to put your questions into the Q&A here, we might be able to get them before the end. But also say a big thank you to all of our lovely panelists. So we have Claudia, Rachel, Thomason and Reese. I know that was super interesting. I really enjoyed the past hour. I hope everyone else did. So thank you so much. Q&A, thanks, enjoyed the chat. Thanks for joining us. It was lovely. And yeah, so I guess we'll just wait here for another 3 minutes until the end if anyone has any last questions they want to put in for any of our panel, and then we might just end the webinar. And go out and enjoy the sun, maybe everyone as well. Cool. We just hope everyone kind of jumping off. Thanks for joining us as well. We can see a few people coming in. So yeah, I think that's all of our questions, and everyone's had it. So again, you can pop it into the chat, or the students are over on the Ask a Student live Q&A until 3 p.m. as well if you have any questions for them then. So thanks so much everyone, and have a lovely day. Bye.